Yes, we're on here. Let's do it. Let's go live. So listen, we watched some lives today. Well, we watched a live today. And somehow I became the topic of discussion. How do you think that happened? We in here. We are. Yes, we are. So I was finally able to sort of finish the live today. But what we doing today? What would y'all like to talk about? Let's get it going. Let's throw some ideas out there. What are we talking about today? We gonna let some more people get in here. But anyways, let's continue to talk. Um, I know we're gonna somehow get on this topic of discussion anyway. Yes, thank you, Nay. Let's pin that. There we go. Welcome. Don't forget to hit the like button. Do it. So listen, we learned some things today. Um, one of which is you remember how we heard that good evening, thank you. You remember how we heard that Joe's car was in the shop? Y'all remember that? Wait, Nay, yes, let's talk about that. Listen. Yes, let's talk about that. I don't know a lot about it, but I've seen it. I've seen more about that David guy than her. Hold on, I'm trying to find some information on this real quick. I'm trying to find information real quick. It says the boyfriend of the young lady who, yeah, I saw that. Like, okay, so they were engaged. Am I right? Weren't they engaged? It says all I know is that he waited like 11 hours before he called her parents. Let me do this. Let's see. I'm googling some information. Isn't it crazy that he took her to the motherland? Isn't it? Okay, so here's what it says. Here's what it says. 31-year-old African American influencer Ashley Robinson was found in a villa in Tanzania shortly after her engagement. Isn't that crazy? Why would what something terrible had to happen? The Tanzanian police reported as a homicide, though family and friends contest this. Hmm. So they're saying there's going to be an autopsy. Have they done the autopsy yet? They got engaged on the trip. Isn't that terrible? Let's pin this. They got engaged on the trip. Let's see what else it says. It says the family has started a GoFundMe. Tanzanian authorities are investigating holding the fiance's passport. Oh, so they're holding his passport, waiting on the autopsy report. He did it. She's flat out said he did it. Listen, she was a beautiful girl. Wow. Let's see what else they got. Hold on. Let's go. Let's go to YouTube. Let's go to YouTube and hear what they got. Because y'all know YouTube got it all. Let's see what they got. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, he's still there. That's what it says. It says they're holding his police report. That's what it says. Let me see what this says. Hold on.
Over the mysterious death of a social media influencer who was on vacation in Africa. Officials in Tanzania now holding her fiance's passport until an autopsy is complete. Influencer Ashley Robinson, known on social media as Ashley Janae, was in Zanzibar celebrating her birthday. Her boyfriend, Joe McCann, proposed on the trip, but last week, something went terribly wrong. Police say Robinson was found unconscious in her villa, and she died at the hospital. Her parents, who live in New Jersey, say they didn't find out until the resort called them.
Nothing about it, just makes sense. It just doesn't add up.
She was supposed to be happy, and she was engaged, and then she's just gone. We're hurting, so we need to know. We just need to know, and we need to get her home.
Robinson's family is calling for transparency and for security video to be released.
And now let's get to the very latest from the family of a South Jersey influencer found dead in Africa over the weekend.
The family of Ashley Robinson wants answers. They say the story just doesn't add up.
So, wait a second. The man is being held until the autopsy is over. So you know that once the autopsy is done, he's probably going to be arrested. And then the parents have to get her back to America. Now, how long is a flight? Isn't the flights to Africa like several hours? I can't imagine. I know, right? Isn't that terrible?
They say she was found unconscious in a luxury villa in Zanzibar and later pronounced dead at a hospital. CBS Philadelphia's Ross DeMatteis following the story from our newsroom tonight. Ross?
Yuki, still a lot of unanswered questions here. We are still waiting at this hour on the results of Ashley Robinson's autopsy, and that report should provide some answers about whether her fiance had anything to do with her death. 45-year-old Joe McCann is facing questions about the death of his fiancée, Ashley Robinson. Police say the 31-year-old influencer, who goes by Ashley Janae online, was found unconscious in her luxury villa and later pronounced dead at the hospital just days after the couple got engaged while vacationing together in Zanzibar, a small island off the east coast of Africa.
She was showing us the engagement ring and where they were and where they were staying.
Seeing the sights.
The beautiful scenery. She was happy. It doesn't make any sense.
On Tuesday, investigators in Tanzania said they're questioning McCann and holding his passport until Robinson.
You know what? I'm really glad that they're holding his passport. Here's why. Because, say for instance, they let him have that passport, he can go anywhere. He can go to a country where there's no extradition laws. He can just fall off the face of the earth with that passport. And even though they're holding his passport for Africa, there are so many places in Africa he can possibly go and hide.
The autopsy is complete, but officials have not accused him of any wrongdoing.
Do you believe that Joe McCann had something to do with your daughter's death?
We don't want to
It's under investigation, and We don't know what went on.
In a sit-down with CBS News on Monday, Robinson's parents said they've largely been kept in the dark about their daughter's death, claiming they haven't heard from her fiancé or local officials since.
The fiancé did not reach out to us at all. We found out from the hotel, and that's devastating when your daughter's halfway around the world.
Think about this. So he decided to not tell this girl's parents, right? He said, to hell with that. We ain't telling the parents. I understand this is probably a very hard thing to tell a person's parents. But you want the parents to hear it from the hotel resort?
Robinson's mother told news outlets hours before her daughter was rushed to the hospital, she and McCann reportedly had an argument so severe that hotel staff moved them into separate rooms. The government of Zanzibar is asking for patience while police carry out their death investigation, but Robinson's parents want answers.
We have zero contact with the police department, no contact with anyone from the medical field, nothing like that. So, that's the message. We're just trying.
Wait, someone says his ex-wife made many types of statements. She was also black. So he just wants to go around here and abuse black women? Imagine that.
Transparency. Just transparency. We have no idea what happened. We just don't know anything right now.
And so far, we have been unable to reach Joe McCann, his relatives, or anyone from the investment company that he founded. The State Department says it's monitoring this case. Meanwhile, Robinson's family has started a crowdfunding page that has already raised more than $45,000 to support travel. Live in the newsroom tonight, Ross DeMattei, CBS News Philadelphia. Yuki?
Okay, Ross, thank you so much. And
so, y'all know what? Let's find something up to date. Let's do updates. Because here's the thing. And be clear, I'm not pointing fingers or judging anybody, but when a person I've seen a person that said the N-word to somebody multiple times and raised millions on GoFundMe in days. Why is it that every single time that a family really needs the money, these people really need the money, they need to go over there and be with their baby, and it's saying that they've only raised like $50,000? What was the argument about? I don't know. They never said. I'm trying to find some up to date. Everything I got is from like 6 days ago. Nothing's really up to date. I guess they don't have any new information on her. Meanwhile, they've waited freaking a whole year to arrest this David guy. Let's see. Because there's really just not any information that's new out here for her. Everything is 8 to 10 days ago. I found something 6 days ago, but I want to know what's happening today, if they got anything new. That's so sad, though. Can you imagine? Most of us can't imagine our child being so far away from us that we can't grasp, let alone so far away from us and someone's unalived her. That's terrible. That's beyond terrible. Let's see. I know TikTok got some shit. Let's go to TikTok. Let's see. I know TikTok got some stuff on her. How's y'all's day going? That's the worst pain. Ain't it? Let's see. Ashley Janae. 4 days ago. Let's see what this says. Let's turn this up. Let's see what this is.
Breaking news. New details have emerged regarding the tragic death of Ashley Robinson, known online as Ashley Jane. The 31-year-old influencer was on vacation in Tanzania with her fiance when the incident occurred. Ashley and her fiance had been staying in room 25 of their hotel. 2 days into their stay, an altercation between the couple led hotel staff to separate them, moving the fiance to a different bungalow after complaints of noise from the neighboring room 24. On the day of her death, Ashley was found by a hotel attendant while searching for a phone charger. The attendant provided one and was asked to return in about 15 minutes. However, when the attendant came back, the room was locked and the lights were off. Using a spare key, the attendant entered the room and found Ashley, who had dropped from where she was. Although unconscious, Ashley was still breathing. She was rushed to the hospital and later transferred to another facility where she tragically passed away. Authorities are investigating the circumstances surrounding her death.
Please help me!
Wow. Like if I had it, say for instance, let me break this down to you guys. Let me break this down. This is why I'm saying these things. Say for instance, I was a celebrity. You know the celebrities have heard about this. This is national news. Do you know that if I was anybody, I can't even believe Tyler Perry ain't reached out to this girl's parents. I can't believe Tyler Perry ain't even reached out to this girl's parents and said, hey, listen, whatever you need, I'm here for you. Here's $100,000. Fly over there, figure it out, get your daughter back. When you get back over here, I'm going to cover the funeral costs. Can y'all not believe that not a single celebrity has spoken about this? Like even silently, even silently. Just imagine, you don't have to go out there and say, yeah, I did it. Here, I'm Jay-Z, I did it. You can do it silently. Hold on, let's read this because this might make a difference. It says, apparently she made comments about black men, so people don't want to talk about her, but everyone should be talking about her. So what did she say? She doesn't like black men? What was the comment? What did she say? Because I want to know, girl, like what you done said about these black men. Let's see. It says she didn't like black men. Now look, now that's making sense. Here's the thing. I know so many people who date outside the race that don't like the people inside their race. And I'm going to tell you one thing. Let me break this down to you. Just to flat out say that you don't like, just say that you don't date. Wouldn't that sound a lot better? Wouldn't that sound a lot better if you just said, "Hey, people have a right to a preference, especially these days. Back in the 30s, you couldn't say, "Hey, I prefer to date black, I prefer to date white," if you're not black or white. If you couldn't date outside the race for years, at least not publicly, without being, it would sound much better if you just say, I don't date black guys. I can understand, like, if some people take one bad apple and blame everybody for it, they'll take one bad date and say, you know what, ever since this, I don't want to date you guys no more. But that's a nasty thing to say, just to flat out say, I hate black people. I hate black men. That's crazy. The comment I've seen are crazy on some TikTok posts, but she absolutely deserves justice. Yes, she deserves justice. Now, let me tell y'all something now. Listen, just listen. What would you think he have done this for? What would you think he had done this for? I don't think there's really never a good reason or a good excuse for taking somebody's life. I mean sometimes you can say, "Hey, listen, he messed with my kid." But what could she have done that made him so angry? What I've heard is that they had an argument, right? They had an argument and they were separated. They actually literally had like a fight or something and they were separated. And so once they got, separated, put in separate rooms, how did it still come to this? They'll blame everybody if they had their heart broken in the fourth grade. She should have loved that having only white men donating to her GoFundMe to get her. Oh, yeah. So we not talking about Joe or what? Hey, listen. We can talk about anything. We like to talk about other things. We will definitely get to Joe because Joe had me on his radar today and I ain't do shit to him. I ain't do nothing to him. Just like the black dude that was unalive by the white girl talked bad about him and didn't show no remorse. Didn't she get off on that? Didn't the white girl get off on killing that black dude? So no one saw Charles say he worked 10s, not 12s. Oh. You had Joe hot today. Joe definitely isn't our only topic over here. Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. Because I want to talk about that David guy situation. Because here's the thing about the David guy situation. Now listen. Here's what I believe. When David met that girl, when she was 13 or 14 or how many ever years she was, he dated her, guys. And I believe he got her pregnant. Now listen. Everybody around David knew he was messing with that young girl. Everybody around David knew that girl was super damn young. Everybody knew that it was wrong. And I believe that he got her pregnant and he knew that if she had a baby by his 20-something-year-old self, he would be in trouble. He would be in trouble. So, how old is David? I think, let me Google it. I think he's 20 something. Let's see how old he is. $21. He's 21 years old. Oh, yes. Wait, show this. Thank you, Keisha, for the super chat. Super chat is open, guys. Let me tell y'all about that. Let me break this down to you guys really, 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 really quickly. So and so had been attacking my page and he had me in timeout. And I was waiting for my appeal to go through from said timeout. And the appeal went through and we in here. Super chat's wide open. But yeah, let's go back. Let's see where we at. Yeah, I'm off restriction. Joe tried to get me, guys, and I was waiting for the appeal to go through because he kept tagging me for using his content. So that's why I deleted every single video, even the photos that I was speaking over that had anything to do with him. So I will not show one single flicker of him on this page because it's really frustrating that out of everybody who does his content, everybody that does anything about him, I'm the one that gets tagged because he personally attacks his page. But back to the David guy. Hold on. What's this say? He was an adult and had no business being with a child. That's facts. I believe, listen, guys, they're not saying it yet. They're not saying it yet, but I believe he got her pregnant. And here's the thing. When she first got found inside that trunk, the people said, "Oh, she's so badly decomposed, we would probably never be able to determine, what caused it," right? So months later, almost a year later, they finally figured something out. But I don't think, from what the lawyer is saying, is that they don't know how she passed away. Here's the bad part. Whether she passed away naturally or unnaturally, they're saying her body was dismembered, right? They're saying her body was dismembered. So whatever happened there, you're in trouble for that. Now, how can you explain that? Body dismemberment? Really? Because like they said, if he probably, put his hands around her neck for a lengthy amount of time, I don't know what all you can say under guidelines here, but if he put his hands around her neck for a lengthy amount of time, that's wrong. You probably couldn't have determined, because like they said, she's still decomposed. Now, I don't know if you can put your hand around a person's neck for such a long a period of time and not break the hyoid bone, right? And not break the hyoid bone. Now, y'all know the hyoid bone, the bone that's in the neck, the one bone that's not attached to any other bone. When you get, when that happens to you, most people crush that bone. So if he had, say, for instance, held her down, put a pillow over her face, he might run free if he hadn't dismembered her. I never heard of him before this situation. I didn't either. But, damn it, I was about to get myself in trouble. I was about to play one of his songs. I'm thinking his music was kind of like dark, but kind of on, what's that guy's name? These young people like him. That makes the sad music. What's his name, the rapper? What is his name? The heavy set rapper. What's that guy's name? That makes the sad music. Can't think of his name. Hold on. What is his damn name? No, it's not Juice WRLD. It's not Millie. Rod Wave. Boom. That's it. Rod Wave. Wait, wrong one. Wait. Rod Wave. Boom. Yep, that's him. Rod Wave. I think his music was kind of like that, because for some reason, when I was 20 in the early 2000s, in the year 2000, I was 20 years old. Okay. And when I was 20, we wanted happy music. Right. See, us older people, we don't listen to that. My daughter was like, "Mom, Rod Wave." I told her she couldn't listen to Rod Wave. She's 11 years old. She went and hung out with some of her cousins. And they went and did some activities and stuff. And she came back home. She hung out with some 20-year-old cousins with her younger other cousins. And they took them to a carnival. And she came back and was like, "Mom, I like Rod Wave." I said, You cannot like Rod Wave. We didn't like sad music back in the day. We used to boo the DJ and tell him, get that sad shit out of here. You know? I love Rod Wave. You love Rod Wave. Listen, I told my daughter she can't listen to Rod Wave. I don't want her depressed. She's 11. She's 11 years old. And listen, guys, she's about to graduate from 5th grade. Maybe 18th, I think. Maybe 18th, yeah. She's graduating from 5th grade. She's going to be a middle schooler. Somebody say, I can't stand him. You can't stand Rod Wave. Girl, I told my 15-year-old the same. We don't want our kids sad. Like, we don't have nothing against the guy, but we don't want our kids sad. Do you let her listen to David's music? No, I have never listened to him myself personally, and I don't think she knows about him either. The only reason why she knowed about Rod Wave was, like I said, she went and hung out with some of her older cousins, and they were playing it in the car. Yes, congratulations, Troll Baby. Yes. You know, the next thing I know, she's going to be graduating from high school. I ain't going to have a baby no more. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, yeah, the David guy is, what the hell is wrong with my neighbor's dog? Son of a gun. I can't stand that dog. The David guy's, who all thinks the David guy's going down? She got a cash app. She doesn't, but I do. Yeah, she can't have one till she's like 13, ain't it? She can't have one till she's like 13. Let me tell y'all about my baby. So her birthday, she turned 11 January 10th. And so she got a ton of cash apps to my cash app, right? From her aunties and her cousins and random people. And so she ended up for her birthday having like $230, right? So I said, okay, it's your money. What do you want to do? So she wanted me to take her to a place called Miniso when she graduates. She's graduating May 18th. So she wanted me to take her to this place called Miniso. I never heard of it. It's in the mall. Girl, this place sells like those Labubu things. Y'all know those Labubu things? Tara is from Troll Family, ain't it? Yes, thank y'all so much. But I ended up taking her to this damn Miniso place. Girl, when I tell you my baby was in there picking up 50 something dollar, and I said, absolutely, it's your money, but don't you want to buy something else? And she said, nope. And I said, you know what? I mean, it was sent to you. Wait, no ma'am, don't buy her those. They're demonic. What? Girl, I went to the place, and it's such a beautiful place. It's lit up in there. It looks like you're in China somewhere. And it's so lit up in there, and it's so pretty. And that's how they get you, ain't it? She said, look it up. Well, I tell you one thing. This new cash app money she getting for her graduation won't be going to no damn Minnesota. I bet you that. That's insanity. That is insanity. Wow. I didn't know that. The number 67 is the money. Wait a second. You mean these kids running around here doing their little hands and some weird gesture talking about 6767 is demonic? What? Somebody said, free us from believing everything is demonic. You know, be clear. Anything that has to do with the industry, designers, these huge designers, a lot of people are gonna think that demonic gestures are behind it. But here's the thing. People try to target kids for a lot of stuff, you know? People try to target kids for a lot of damn stuff. People really do. Let me bring this to y'all's attention right quick. This is totally off subject, but I kind of love to talk about conspiracy theory things. Listen, so I was watching, passing through TikTok, and I come across a lady's page and she said, had y'all ever studied the Rosa Parks photo of her sitting in the front of the bus? And so I went and pulled it up. She was just rattling off about some stuff. So I went and pulled it up and she said, back then when this was going on, people didn't have cell phones. People weren't just walking around with cameras. And she said, who took that picture? And why weren't there other people on the bus? There was Rosa Parks and one white man sitting behind her. And I thought about it. Who did take the picture? And was said picture taken when she allegedly refused to get off the bus? Somebody said, if it's not Beyonce, air is demonic. Wait, you don't believe Beyonce is demonic? Yes, Chucky. Let me tell you something about Beyonce. Beyonce ain't ashamed of shit she had to do to get to where she is, and she'll do it again. Somebody said, YouTube is demonic. Girl, listen, let's talk about this real quick. I love Beyonce. I mean, I don't want to go to one of her part. Well, let me tell y'all something. Listen, I would like to hang out with Beyonce, but not party with her. Okay, so listen. Let me tell y'all this. Hold on. Joe is demonic. Joe is a demon. He's beyond demonic. He is. 1,000%. I can't stand Beyonce. Girl. For real, Kimberly. For real. Somebody says, how you feel about the guy that unalived his... Oh, man. Yo, the man that unalived his kids. Listen, y'all. Let me tell y'all what I do believe 100%. I 100% believe that demon entities can enter a person's body, right? Let me break this down to you. Let me make a case for you. Do y'all remember the foreign girl who was on the subway? The guy was just sitting behind her, and for no reason, he got up and hit her in the neck with a knife a few times. I don't know what all you can say on YouTube with it being, this type of platform. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? The foreign girl. What was her name? Do y'all remember her name? You remember her name, Chucky? She was just here trying to work, and I think she was trying to pursue some type of modeling or something. So I believe because nothing was provoked. Nothing was provoked for him to do this to this girl. And the next thing we know, and it's so crazy because I feel like if I was there, I would have had to try to console her. That girl passed away afraid and alone. That broke my damn heart, guys. Hold on. I'm gonna get her name. So yeah, she was from the Ukraine. Yes, she was. Hold on. Let me see.
Have released surveillance video of the unprovoked murder of a woman on a Charlotte commuter train. There needs to be change. We are not showing the attack, but moments after this video was taken, 23-year-old Irina Zarutska took a seat in front of the man on the right in the red hoodie and began scrolling on her phone. After a few minutes, police say the man identified as 34-year-old DeCarlos Brown took out a pocket knife, stood up, and stabbed Zarutska several times. Passengers rushed to help her, but it was too late. Very alarming as a woman who rides solo. People have harassed other people. You can tell that they're probably not mentally well. Brown was arrested after stepping off the train and faces first-degree murder charges. He has more than a dozen convictions dating back to 2014. His own mother says this tragedy could have been prevented. See, you should hear the jail call. What jail call? Oh, we done peppermint. We done pink peppermint. Yeah, we don't want to do too much violence because here's the thing. You don't know what YouTube allows you to do, and next thing you know, they said, "Hey, you said 2 words that can get you," you know. So yeah, we will talk about something else. What do y'all want to talk about? Let's get on something else. The Uter train station is dangerous. I think all train stations are. I'm scared to death of that. Let's get back on Joe. Okay. Yeah, let's get back on Joe real quick. Let's do that. Um Joe um he made a lot of terrible statements today. And for some strange reason, some people in his chat started bringing me up and he got so angry and so nasty. Hold on. But YouTube don't say, yeah, they let Joe say whatever he wants. Just like he said, they like him. So Joe made some statements today, guys. Let's talk about it. Okay. So I posted some of these videos on my TikTok and my Facebook. So y'all remember what he said was going on with his car, why his car was missing? Y'all remember that? Do y'all remember what he said about his car being missing?
So he said the car needed a battery. Comes to find out the car was wrecked, okay? And he said the car needed $7,000 worth of damage repaired. And his insurance company magically said they weren't doing it. And he said that he was rear ended. So whose fault is it? I literally said that if it was a battery, they could have went to AutoZone, O'Reilly's, Pit Boys, somebody, right? Yes, a wreck that his insurance will not pay for. One of two things is going on here. Either he's behind on the insurance, number one. Number two, what if Charles was driving, guys? What if Charles was driving? Hmm? I'm going to tell you why I think maybe what if Charles was driving real quick. Let me think about it. So Joe stated that somebody rear-ended him. Now we all know if it's somebody else's fault, you want injury insurance. You want to say you got some injuries. You also know that if that person had insurance, your insurance is going to pay for it, right? So here's the thing. His insurance didn't pay for it. Okay? They didn't pay for it. So he was saying that he was wanting to give it was $7,000. But here's the thing. He kind of made it out to seem like he got the car out, right? And when he said he got the car out, he said he let his niece drive his car to Florida and he drove her car to Florida because he was afraid that Jacksonville police would be waiting on him. Now, why would you be afraid that Jacksonville police will be waiting on you if you just told us you didn't have any tickets? Joy and Rolanda's can say whatever they want. Their day is coming. Rolanda's may have been driving and the insurance company will not pay for the claim. And here's the thing. Here's another thing. Why would Jacksonville police be waiting on Joe? What's happening, guys? Lies. He said someone hit him from the back. It is in the shop and the insurance check hasn't come, so it's still there. Ain't it? What? Listen, guys. Listen, guys. Listen. Listen, please. Listen. Listen. Why would Jacksonville police want Joe? That's the thing. Why? Is the police looking for him already? What has he done in Jacksonville? Why would you lie about things that people can find out the truth about very easily? Does that make sense to anybody? Somebody said it's repoed. Ain't it? Something is going on. And listen, he came in his live today and he stated that he wanted the papers. He wanted to see the papers, the lawsuit papers from Carlos. He can't be sued. It's all a big lie because Carlos is talking about it too much. Y'all listen, I mean, me personally, I don't think I would have talked about it that much, but it's not my lawsuit. It's not my business. But at the same time, if you're going to sue somebody, you're going to sue somebody. I want Joe to really understand the realms of what he's done to people. You know, the story he told today made no sense at all. It made no sense at all. Roster said that truck been gone for a few weeks. Did Roster say that? They don't have any money for real. Remember, he said he was died. Wait, I guess it says driving his aunt's car after she passed. Okay. Why would they allow him to drive Miss Manola's car? Where's her kids? Where's her children? Where is her children at? How many Facebook people do I have in here? Facebook say I. I'm seeing a lot of YouTube messages and none from Facebook. Do I have Facebook in here? Do I need to drop Facebook? I don't want to drop Facebook. We're double streaming tonight. But anyways, um some people were on the internet, and let me tell y'all something. I'm not calling nobody on Joe. I'm not searching for anything on Joe. I'm just here to troll Joe, guys. Once my computer goes off, I don't troll Joe anymore. I don't look for things. I don't search for things. I don't think about it. I got other things to do in my life. So, when he says that, oh, they're always searching for things and looking for things to try to get me in trouble, you tell us everything, Joe. It says Rasta is spilling all the tea on Joe. Good, because she knows every bit of it. Charles is so sad, guys. He is so sad. When they was in Florida, he was just on live. Looks like and sound like he was out of his brain so high. And he was just saying, I want positive vibes. I want positive vibes. And people were trying to give him things of positivity, but he wasn't really trying to hear that. Joe, 48 years old and has dementia. Dude, like 60. Joe is about 65, guys. Listen, Joe's mama couldn't tell me he's 48 years old, okay? I mean, rest in peace to her, much respect to her. But I don't believe Joe is 40 nothing. How many of you guys believe Joe is 40 something? Come on now. How many of y'all believe Joe is 40 anything? You know? The amount of lies, the sheer amount of lies is insanity. You know? The sheer amount of lies. Hey, Karen, good afternoon. Good night, sweetheart. It's night. It's nighttime. It is. It's nighttime. It is. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. Let's say he forgets everything driving. Yes. So another thing that we found out, we discovered in his life. So we was in another live, and Joe said, I don't eat snacks. We don't eat snacks. I don't buy snacks. You know, we saw today snacks all over the countertop when he let us over there at that stove. And then we also saw sodas that he doesn't drink. Why lie to us like this? I had to work tonight. Finally home relaxing. Yes, we're gonna put you to sleep tonight, girl. We're gonna talk about positive things so that you guys can have good dreams at the end of the life. We going up today. So listen, wait. Joe brainwashed Charles. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Listen. Everybody knows this but Charles. I believe Charles really, really, really don't want to be there. I believe he don't really like him, but he feels trapped, and he is, and it's his own doing, and we don't feel bad for that. We don't feel bad for that at all. Joe is eating something because he is gaining weight. It ain't bread. I'm gonna tell you that. He said it ain't bread. It's not bread. They will not send you Pillow Talk notifications. How dare they? How dare they? So now that I'm off timeout, Joe's really gonna come for me now, guys. Oh, he's gonna really come for me now. He can't help himself. He really can't. Hold on, let's see what this says. Rolando's messed his own life up. Yeah, he did. I can't feel sorry for him, especially how he talks to black women. I don't feel a bit of sorry. Do y'all? Here's what I was telling. Here's what I was telling the chat when we were watching them in Florida. I was telling the chat. I said, "Listen, do y'all remember when Rolando's was a little bit likable, when he didn't talk that much? Do y'all remember that? Y'all remember Rolando's wouldn't say a thing. He wouldn't say a thing. He just Once he started talking, he became a nightmare." He says, yeah, Joe putting his weight back on. I told you guys, listen. I told you guys. Joe was done with the gym. He can't. When I told y'all he did that gym for a week, and when he said, oh, I'm taking some time off, I already knew he was never going back to that gym. He was trying to hide those old teeth. What old teeth? Charles knows Joe's real age ain't 40. Listen. I want Rasta Ray to tell everything she knows. But here's what I think. I think Rasta Ray is holding back because she still kind of has a bit of love for Charles. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Let's see. I agree. She's still dealing with Charles. You know, Charles misses her. Do you know how bad Charles has to miss her? Because she was the only person that was willing to stand up to Miss Netta with him. You know? She was the only person willing to stand up to Miss Nettle. And nobody else. Nobody else would. It says Joe refuses to go out and find work. That's why he forces Charles, because they're behind on bills. He said that today. He said that he got his YouTube pay today, and that he didn't hold on, sorry. That he got his YouTube pay today, and that he needed to pay some bills on the 21st. And I was like, what bills are due on the 21st? He's way behind on bills. There's no bill. What bill? Okay, let's see. It says, yep, he was the cameraman. and the food tester. Let's talk about food tester, okay? So, Hottie told us that Joe had told Rolanda's the food has to be a 10, that it was in a contract. Now, this is literally what Hottie said. Literally what Hottie said. Hold on. Let's see. You know, they've all turned on Joe, you know? Hottie has, 20 Dime has. They're trying to clear their name up from said lawsuit, ain't it? It says, yep, she wants to spill, but she still loves Rolando's. Yeah, that's what I believe. I believe she really wants to tell it, but can't. Crazy work. Crazy work. Somebody says, hey there, hey there. Hold on, what else we got? What else we got? Sad. Okay, I'm sorry. I was trying to find some stuff. Okay, why they got so many damn cell phones? Okay, listen. Let's talk about that. Let me pin that comment. Let's pin that comment real quick. Joe likes to brag, guys. He likes to brag. They got all of those cell phones and they only got 2 phone numbers. They got Joe's phone number and Charles's phone number. That's it. That's it. They got all of those cell phones to stream on. How they say? Um, Hottie told, listen, let me see if I can find it real quick. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Whose page is it on? Eddie Joe Jr. Hottie went out and said that it might not be on his page, it might be on cousin page. Hold on. I think it might be on cousin page. But they literally went out there and flat out said that they don't have anything to do with the CVS thing, and they wanted to distance themselves from that. That's what they said. They sure did. Everybody's scared of being sued. Hold on. Somebody says, I got an iPhone 16 and don't use it. I'm getting an iPhone just specifically for, let's see what this is. So we was in the live today. Hey, somebody say, hey y'all. But she still be gifting them and reporting lies. I know. That's what. Listen, guys. I'm so confused as to what's going on. I feel like she's playing both sides, guys. I mean, that's all I can say is that I feel like she's playing both sides. And I don't know what else. I don't trust any of them, you know. I don't trust any of them, and that's clear. But I believe she's playing both sides. Like, why though? Why? Why play both sides?
Love your mate and you care about your mate, but you send them down double seasoning their food, sugar and
Let's see what we got here. Do y'all know? Let me tell y'all this story about. I was pulling up. I was trying to pull up T Sippers, and see if she's got the information that Hottie put out there about them. Hold on, let me see what she got.
to me, and it's all good. What is Joe, you can act like you don't know that. My problem is with Joe, because Joe know what he did to me,
This is T Sippers, by the way. Listen.
and it's all good. What is Joe, you can act like you don't know nothing.
And I'm just to the call. You can talk after her because I want to know because like. What did she do to you, if you don't mind me asking?
What you mean? I was a follower of Just Hit a Troll. First of all, he just played my video back. He's talking about him.
They said your page got restricted. Which page? TikTok?
I'm hungry.
This is how I stop.
Which page? Sugar. Weekend. Miss Live 3D. Wait a second. Give me like 2 seconds. Who said my page got restricted? Let me take this down so I can know what I'm saying. Restricted from what? They said Joe reported my page. Of course he did. When? He's been reporting my page. My page isn't restricted. I'm still able to get super chats. Miss Live 3D said that? When? Someone in her chat said that. What happened? Thanks, Keisha. What happened today was the Andrew Do reported. Yeah, let's talk about that. What happened today was I was doing Joe's live while he was live, and people started going in his live telling him things about me, saying I was there. Some people even went in there and said that they liked me better. Let's see, Miss 3D was watching live and in Joe's chat was saying that. They got my live shut off. They didn't get it banned. They got it shut off. It was restricted, yeah. Because I don't know what they were saying in the restrictions though. But that Andrew guy, yeah, the Andrew guy is Joe's do boy. And so is Hottie. And so is Twinadime. Jayla, this. Let me tell y'all something real quick and be honest. I don't want to be an icon. I don't want to be some huge, big TikToker. I don't want to be any of these things. I get on here and I just want to make you guys laugh and make you guys happy. I'm not in competition with anybody. I don't want to be in competition with anybody. I have a job just like most of you guys. Hey, all of you guys, we have jobs. Social media is a side job. Whatever I make off social media, I'm happy with it. I'm not complaining about gifts. I'm not complaining about not getting gifts. None of these things. But at the end of the day, sometimes I feel like some people don't like me that much. And I've done nothing. I've done nothing. What have I done? They're icons now. Facts. Like it was some drama going on and I was like, I am distancing myself. I don't like drama. I don't have to be in drama with anybody. I'm not gonna be in drama with anybody. I went in live 3D's page today and threw her some gifts. I gave her some hand hearts, a few of them. Right. I just listen, y'all. Let me tell y'all how cool I am. And I don't try to step on anybody's toes when it comes to these internet streets because at the end of the day, we're all kind of trying to do the same thing. Now, some people depend on the internet more than others. And I'm not calling anybody's name. I'm just saying some people depend on the internet for to pay bills. Listen, when you guys give me gifts and when you guys give me super chats and cash apps and all of these things, I use these things to try to make my channel better for you guys because I have a job to pay my bills. So whatever I make off of social media, I'm trying to upgrade this channel for you guys. Look, I took the money that was given to me and I got this Neo thing. Unfortunately, unfortunately, I didn't know I had to have an iPhone. I'm a Galaxy person. So right now, I'm about to buy an iPhone off of my social media money as soon as it's up enough. I don't make a whole lot of money off social media. I don't have time to do it all the time. So listen, I was in here. We were doing a live a couple days ago, and a lot of you guys can vouch for me. I was in here doing a live a few days ago on Joe's. We was doing a recap. And somebody said, hey, go to Cousin's page. Carlos is over there telling some information. So I said, well, do you guys want to continue Joe or do you want to watch? You want to go see? They was like, go over there. I said, well, let's run over there real quick. I ran over there real quick. I had almost 500 people in my live. Okay. I ran over there real quick and I saw that, they was getting their stuff going. They had 200 and something people. So this is what I told my live. I said, listen, I feel like I'm disrespecting her by viewing her live from my live. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get off live. I'm going to let you guys go over there and I'm going to let you guys watch the live. And later we'll do a recap. And that's what I did. That's exactly what I did. I could have held my people over here and said, yeah, we'll watch. But I felt like that's was disrespectful because at the end of the day, like I said, we're all trying to do the same thing. So that's the kind of heart that I have. That's the kind of heart that I have for this thing. I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes. Yes, you still need a job. Social media doesn't last forever. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand that. They don't. I have a full-time job and try to catch the lives. Right. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, it's entertainment. But let me tell you guys, and let me tell you guys the honest to God truth. I am Team Carlos. I hope he gets everything he wants. But do I want to sit up and talk about it all day, every day? No. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to be there talking about the same thing. I don't want to talk about his case. I want him to do his case. I want him to get video proof when Joe is served. And I want to talk about that. That's what I want to talk about. So when the people were like, let's talk about what's going on with Carlos's case, I said, no, I said, I don't want to talk about that. I said, if that's what you guys want to hear, then I will more than happy let you guys go over there and talk to them about it. I said, but we're here to just recap, laugh, giggle, and go on about life, guys. That's it. That's it. We're doing recaps and we're going about life. That's simply it. Y'all know I don't have time to be on the damn internet all day long. I don't have time for it. So yeah. But anyways, back on a positive note. What should we talk about? I think we've covered Joe. We've covered what else we've covered? We covered David. We covered the Africa incident. Let's talk about something nice so I can talk you guys to sleep. It's almost tomorrow, guys. Y'all know what time I gotta work? 5 o'clock. Yeah, there isn't much to discuss yet about the case. I don't even want to discuss it. I don't want to discuss it. I don't want to. I just want it to happen. I just want it to happen. Here's why. I don't know how many people will be summoned to court. You know what I'm saying? Like, who else going to be summoned? Like, what's going to happen here? And here's I want you guys' honest opinion. I want you guys' honest opinion, guys. Do you think Carlos will get anything from Joe? Do you? Is this week going slow for you? 100%. It is. It should be Friday already. I don't know. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you. So, here's what I'm doing. I'm going to flat out buy an iPhone here's what I'm going to do. I'm Team Galaxy. And I looked at I have T-Mobile services. I can go and get a phone from T-Mobile and get a line. I don't want to do all of that because I want to learn how to use an iPhone before I decide whether or not I want to flat out do away with my Galaxy. I don't want to do away with my Galaxy. I know how to use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get an iPhone just for Neo. I'm getting an iPhone just for Neo. Wait, hold on. Let's see what you said. I think that is more about the principle for Carlos, not the financial gain. I do too. Here's the thing. I hope he, for the least, have something done about filing that fake police report. I want him to go ahead and do the CVS thing. I know he can get something there. At the end of the day, Joe doesn't care if it goes good or bad. He's being discussed. You can tell he has never had any attention growing up. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. He's loving his attention. And here's the thing. He gets on here and he calls out us troll pages. If it wasn't for us troll pages, he'd have been withered off somewhere into no one watches you territory, you know? Don't you think? He would have been gone. And that's what needs to happen. It says, yes, a defamation CVS thing for sure. The CVS thing is more of HIPAA violations, because what if, he went in there and he lied to these people about why he needed Carlos's information, and at the very least he put that man's family in danger. They put that man's family in danger. Here's why or how. What if Joe sent somebody up there or went up there himself to unalive Carlos? What if that happened? You know? And somebody said, where the sound go? I had to put my baby out of here. Yeah, we still here. I'm sorry, guys. We still here. We are still here. We are. We are. Wasn't shit in that paper. What? In that paper. We still here. Yeah. Okay, so let's wind down. It's about to be tomorrow, guys. It's literally about to be tomorrow. So listen. Here's the goal for tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to go TikTok live tomorrow. Absolutely. 100%. We're going to do pillow talk tomorrow. Here's the thing. We've got to start choosing topics for pillow talk, guys. We got to start choosing topics for pillow talk. We are definitely always going to mention, some things we probably shouldn't mention. But we've got to start choosing some topics. We can get on here and we can talk about anything. We can talk about the little fairy that's going to come and sprinkle the little fairy dust into your eyes and make you guys sleepy for the night. And you go to sleep and you dream wonderful dreams, beautiful dreams, whatever dreams that you think that you love to dream, you're going to dream those tonight. And when you wake up in the morning, you know what's going to happen? You're going to wake up happy. You're going to wake up well rested. You're going to wake up and you're going to fulfill your day and you're going to have a happy day, you know what else you're going to do? You're going to be walking somewhere and you're going to look down and you're going to find some money. Do you follow Andrew Caldwell? No. No, I don't follow Andrew Caldwell. Someone says, hey, just here to troll and chat. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Y'all know me doing this. So let me tell y'all this. So I'm streaming on StreamYard, right? And on StreamYard, I can stream up to 10 streaming sites at once. I'm not going to do that. I don't even know 10 streaming sites I can stream from. The only place I stream from is Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, right? That's it. He's delivered. Have they found Nancy yet? Oh, listen, Kimberly. So, Savannah has went back to work, right? And what I've heard last is that someone's sending ransom notes for money stating that they want to let her know where Nancy's body is. Isn't that crazy? How do you feel about long distance relationships? Let me tell you how I feel about long distance relationships. It really all depends on how often you're going to see each other. If you're talking about, hey, we see each other once a month would be the max for me. I mean, if I say, okay, we live long distance and we're seeing each other 2, maybe 3 times a month, especially if you really like this person, I think a month is too long with going without seeing somebody you're really into. Don't you think? Nancy been gone, ain't it? I feel like you don't have to see the person you're dating every day. It depends on how you feel about them and what type of person you is. I'm the type of person, I kind of like a bit of personal space. Yes, I'm married. My personal space has been gone. But I do have points to where I can get my personal space. I got a room. I can go in that room, shut that door, tell everybody to leave me the hell alone. And, get the peace and quietness that I need. But everybody doesn't have that because we're a house of 3, so it's typically always very quiet here because my daughter doesn't have siblings. So she's always either crocheting something or doing some drawings or some things like that. And I limit her time with devices, right? So it says, do you feel the daughter is involved? Wait a second. What am I missing? Yes. Well, the older daughter, yes. Because Nancy seemed to be the only one. I mean, Savannah seemed to be the only one that's torn up about the mom being missing, It seems like the brother wasn't that bad. Here, let me tell y'all my theory real quick. Here's what I feel like happened. I feel like it was a family member somehow involved. I feel like the people probably asked Savannah for some money. And Savannah was like, no, I'm done giving y'all money. Because let me tell y'all something. It's really stressful being the person in your family that has the money, right? Yes, the older siblings. It's really stressful being the person in your family that has some money because you'll have people that you ain't heard from in weeks, months, and maybe years As soon as they need some money, they're asking you for it. And in the same sense, you'll have people who you deal with on the regular continuously asking you for money. So you're going to have to say no eventually. You're going to have to say no eventually. You can't take care of everybody because people will take advantage of you. You got able-bodied people that can work, but still saying, hey, Savannah, let me borrow $5,000. So what? I'm a millionaire. I'm not giving you $5,000. And I believe that whoever went to that place to get Nancy, I believe that they thought it was going to be easy. I believe that Nancy's fight or flight set in, and I believe she fought them. And I believe they accidentally unalived her, guys. I don't believe it was intentional. I don't believe it was intentional at all. I believe they accidentally unalived her and they didn't know what to do. So they just, took her body somewhere and hid it. But why haven't they found some kind of way to get video of them leaving the house with her or, whatever happened there? Why? Yeah, people feel entitled to your money. And here's another thing. My grandma always said, don't ever tell anybody how much money you got. Don't ever tell anybody how much money you got. If you go out here and say, for instance, you get some type of lump sum payment, settlement, hit the lottery, whatever, and you run around telling everybody, hey, girl, I got won $100,000. As soon as, first of all, you're going to have a bunch of people asking you for shit, number one. Number two, as soon as you go broke, you know what they're going to do? They're going to talk about you. Girl, she had all that money and she didn't even put new tires on her car. Or she had all that money and she ain't even got a car. Y'all know how people love to talk. It says, me too. I love it when my man is gone. I had different rooms that's supposed to be my peace. But everybody always come, ain't it? When we were dating, we had our own houses for a very long time when we were dating because when I met him, I had my own apartment and him and his brother were sharing an apartment. Now, mind you guys, this was back in the early 2000s. And it was very cheap to have an apartment back then. You could pay $350 and have an apartment back then, guys. So it wasn't, back then it was kind of a lot of money. But I've always been a person that worked, right? And so for years that we dated, we had separate places. And my rules were, you keep your stuff at your place, I keep my stuff at my place. 90% of the time, we were staying at my place because I didn't have anybody there and he had a roommate. So when it finally came down to time for them to renew the lease that they had, because we dated for like 4 years and still had separate places. And when it came down to time for them to renew their lease, his brother was like, well, man, I'm going to go stay with my girlfriend. And it was his baby mama at the time. I'm going to go stay with my baby mama. And we didn't have any children. So he was like, well, my brother don't want to renew the lease. Can I stay? And at first I was like, damn, I'm going to lose my extra room. I'm going to lose my this, my that, because I had a 2-bedroom apartment. And fortunately for us, it wasn't that bad because we didn't have to decide whose furniture we were keeping or this or that, because his brother, it was most of the things there was his brother's things. So let's see what I miss. Everything. She said what I miss. I have friends who live in Tucson, not far where Nancy Guthrie lives. It's a pitch black there at night. Observatory and their street lights allow in some neighborhoods. Let me tell y'all. Let's. Here's what I think. Here's what I think, guys. Here's what I think. I feel like they should have never let an 87-year-old lady live alone. I don't care how good her brain was, her hearing was, her eyesight was. She had terrible health problems. Nancy had enough family members. Savannah had enough money to where they could either have had a family member live there. Everybody's got a family member that could, would happily stay somewhere if they knew they didn't have to pay bills. Or at the very least, if it was my mom, I would have paid for her around the care nurse. I mean, round the clock nurse. What do y'all think? He has a man cave. I need to store him somewhere when I'm working my nerve. Ain't it? Ain't it? It says, I don't want to accuse, but I feel like one of the family members did it because let that woman stay alone. Right. Listen, guys. Savannah will beat herself up about this forever, and at the end of the day, you never think anybody's going to come and kidnap your damn mama. Your 80-something-year-old mama. For me, that's my grandmother. My grandmother is 87. And I couldn't imagine anybody kidnapping her because she too has health issues where she needs to have medication every day. And she's got dementia. She'll tell you the same thing 1,000 times. And I love hearing it because I'm happy she's here. But if it were my grandma, see, my grandma has her daughter to live with her and take care of her. But if it was my mom, my grandma, and I'm a millionaire, leave my mom out in the middle of nowhere without anybody to stay with her, it's crazy. Don't y'all think that's crazy? I'm not blaming Savannah because I know her mom probably was, I don't want anybody to stay with me. I'm happy staying alone. But mom, you're 80-something years old. Apparently the son or whoever dropped her off drove off as soon as she got out the car. What? You don't even watch your mama go in the house. You don't even watch your mama go in the house. Who don't watch their mama go in the house? Anybody that I'm dropping off, I'm watching them go in the house. The son-in-law had ties with the cartel. I believe that. I believe that, Betty. It's an odd situation. Get that son-in-law, bring him in, waterboard him or something, and make him tell it because he knows what happened. Because like the people said when they interviewed some of the neighbors, they said, it says, hell, I watch my own friends go in the house when I drop them off. Ain't it? You have to. You don't let nobody that you care for go in the house without watching them go in there. Because at least you can say, I know they went in the house. And you don't know what happened after they went in the house, but you know they went in the house. So what type of person in their right mind just pulls off and lets an 80-something-year-old woman walk into a house? It's crazy work. It's so many things not adding up. And the longer she's away, the worse the case gets. And the more I feel like they're never going to find her because if you think about it, it's probably, if they left her in the desert somewhere or buried her in the desert, you probably never gonna find her. You probably will never find Oliver. It says the other daughter that's married to him noticed how she never said anything. That's what I said. The oldest one acting real crazy. He should have escorted her into the house. Yes, he should have. Yes, he should have. It's a nasty thing he did. The animals got her if they left her on the ground. Yeah, that's what I said. They're not gonna. It's over. Listen, when somebody in your family is missing, you're never gonna give up hope of them coming back. There's a part of your brain that says it's over. We're never gonna see them again. But then there's another part of your brain that's holding on to hope, you know. And Savannah would never be the same. Never. Because she blames herself. She blames herself. Because at the end of the day, she was the target for the money. And here's the terrible thing about it, guys. They were wanting Bitcoin. Bitcoin? Traceable Bitcoin? Traceable Bitcoin? Were these amateurs? If it was a money grab, guys, what they should have done was just try to get Nancy's card, debit card, something. Take her to the bank, teller machine. I don't know. It just seemed like it was such an unorganized, random thing. She's gonna wrap herself into work, and I really hope that she doesn't have, a thing of choice that she does, like rugs or alcohol, because if she does, she's gonna need some help. The video of the man is very unsettling because it just seems like they kind of was like winging it. What was in the backpack he had on? Duct tape? Something to wrap her body in to drag her out of there? What was in that backpack? Because that backpack looked like it was full of stuff, didn't it? The backpack he had on. And then surgical gloves. It's so much wrong there. And you know what I really believe? I believe the police department fudged up the crime scene. Somebody said, hey, Pillow Talk, hey. I believe the police department fudged up the crime scene, guys. That's what I believe. It says, hold on, let me pin this. The police had no idea what they was doing. No, they 100% didn't. And I think that the Guthrie family needs to sue their ass. Because let me tell y'all this. The last week, it may have even been this week, but they had the police department put a post out that Nancy's body had been recovered, and it was a lie. Said the body had been located. Somebody says, what are we discussing? Nancy Guthrie. They say Nancy mixed up with the Epstein. Nancy with Epstein files? What the hell would her old ass be doing with Epstein files? Yeah, they contaminated the crime scene. Here's why. And how? They had never dealt with this type of thing before. They didn't know what to do. They should have went ahead and got the FBI in there, but they was too arrogant, thinking they can do it themselves. And then these jerks took and offered a $50,000 reward when these people was asking for 6 million. Why would you take 50,000 when you want 6 million? And the only way they're going to find out who done this is if whoever the accomplice was snitches. One of the accomplices snitch. What they should have done was start trying to put some scare tactics together, guys. They should have started trying to put scare tactics together. They should have went out there and said, we're going to find you. We're going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. And whoever comes first and tells, we will be lenient on you. That's what they should have did. Because when you start thinking about, oh, dear God, I'm going to spend the rest of my life in jail, you might want to think about snitching. Savannah Guthrie's husband's in the Epstein files. Let me tell y'all something about the Epstein files, guys. I don't think anybody in the Epstein files is going to see a day in jail or any type of anything happening to them while Donald Trump is in the White House, guys. Nothing's going to happen to them while Donald Trump's in the White House. Nothing. Look, nothing's happened to him. The justice system is crap. Yeah. It sure is. It is crap. I feel like all of this is connected. The Donald Trump is covering it all up. Oh, he is. Yeah. Because think about it, guys. We all know for a fact that he's in those files. We've seen him there. We've seen him there. And here's another thing I want to talk about real quick. So they are allegedly trying to get Diddy out of jail, right? Because his lawyers is saying, hey, there's no rules against you watching your own videos. You know what I mean? What he was filming. There's no rules of you watching your own videos, so let him out. Here's what I think. I think that when Diddy gets out, one of two things is going to happen. He's going to go after everybody who dissed him as a friend, everybody who let him down, everybody who decided they was never going to, come forward and try to help him. All of these people that left, Ellen DeGeneres, Jay-Z and them, all of them people. I think Diddy is going to rain hell on everybody because he's got nothing to lose at this point. We all knew what Diddy was doing to boys. We all knew that Diddy had issues with Ruggs. We all knew that Diddy had issues with power. He wanted to be very powerful. And I want him to tell it all, whether it be by book. See, if I was Diddy, you know what I would be doing right now? If I was Diddy, while I got, what he got, 3 years or something to do, I will be getting that book together. And you know when I drop it? As soon as I got free. I would have written that book in maybe a year or two, and I would have passed that book on to somebody I trusted and had them go ahead and start the process of getting that book put together. And it would just be a waiting process. He finna pull a 6ix9ine and go after everybody who snitched. He should. He should. He 100% should. Yep. Wait, let's see what this says. It says, "Did you hear in news Congress of FBI investigating what happened to Thin?" Oh, I did. Listen, I did hear about those scientists. What happened? What really happened there? Those scientists knew something, guys. They knew something. They knew something that they didn't supposed to know. Let's see. Let's see what this says. Let's see what CNN got. We gonna listen.
Of Congress are set to take on a deepening mystery after at least 10 American scientists, all with ties to U.S. nuclear or space research programs, have died or disappeared.
It does appear that there's a high possibility that something sinister is taking place here.
On Monday, the House Oversight Committee saying it will investigate the string of incidents, writing, "If the reports are accurate, these deaths and disappearances may represent a grave threat to U.S. national security." It comes just days after the FBI launched its own probe. The agency telling NBC News it is working with the Department of Energy, Department of Defense, and state and local law enforcement to find answers. President Trump even said he was briefed on the matter last week.
I hope it's random, but we're going to know in the next week and a half.
The mysterious deaths and disappearances began in 2023 when Michael David Hicks, a scientist who worked with NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, died at the age of 59, with no cause of death publicly released.
Wow.
Between 2024 and 2025, 7 other scientists were reportedly killed or went missing, including 60-year-old NASA engineer Monica Reza.
I think they found some aliens. They found some aliens, ain't it? That's what happened. Ain't it? Something terrible has happened. They either know of something that we ain't supposed to know. They either know about some experiments that they was probably doing on people. They found something. Yeah. They found something. Someone said they must found out something wild. Yeah. Here's the thing, y'all. How many of y'all listen? I want y'all to be honest, and I'm gonna take this down so I can see all the comments. How many of y'all believe that there may, in fact, be another intelligent life form? How many of you guys believe that there may, in fact, be some aliens? Most of the people who are super, super smart and super, super rich look really weird, don't they? Don't they? I believe it. I don't care. Like, it doesn't take away from the fact of you being able. See, the thing of it is here's why they don't want you to know, even if there is. They don't want you to know because they're so afraid of what that would do to people's religion. You know, and think about if people really found out that there was really aliens, how they would act. That can cause some mass unalivings because people will be like, My whole life is a lie. And I've been living by this code or these rules or this and that. And people could just snap, you know? Elon Musk. Yeah. Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg. Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg. They both listen. Wanda. Hey, Wanda. Yes. I don't know, y'all. I believe it. I believe it. Listen, let me tell y'all this. Answer me this. How is it that all of these ancient sites, the pyramids, that damn it, what's that thing? This is why I gotta get my damn iPhone. Cause see, I could be pulling this stuff up for you guys right now. If I had my iPhone, I'm getting that damn iPhone. I'm just gonna have to put my own money with it. But listen, um, the that precise castle that's carved in the side of the mountain that look people today couldn't even do that. Y'all know what I'm talking about? The the pyramids, Machu Picchu, all of these places that the lines of Giza, all of these places. Listen, the Nazca lines, that's what they're called. The Nazca lines. All of these things to where people didn't have GPS, people didn't have airplanes, allegedly. People didn't have a way to see these things. Why were these things put out in such huge ratios? Because people have always believed that there has been another life form. People have always believed it. Things that can't be made today with modern technology. Where did they take all of the rock that they carved out of this mountain to make these things? Where did the rock come from? The stones come from to make the pyramids? Where did all of these things come from? How did these people? And I also believe in giants. Yeah, I believe in giants. I believe aliens walk amongst us, ain't it? The aliens are the people, the richest people in the world, because they were so smart. Because how the hell did Mark Zuckerberg figure out how to make Facebook? How did Elon Musk figure out all the stuff he's figured out? They can figure out everything except how to stop scam calls from calling my damn phone. How the heck did the Egyptians know how to do brain surgery? Right? How did they know how to make very fine, expensive jewelry? How did they know how to carve out sculptures and all of these things with precision? We can't do stuff like that today. AI can't even do that shit. There's something going on, man. I don't know. And you know what else I believe? I believe that once man was able to communicate with higher powers, in quotation marks, man was able to communicate. And you know what man did? Man screwed it up like man do all the time. Man wiped out everything. The Neanderthals, Yeti, everybody else. Giants. Man killed the giants. Aliens can mimic what humans can do. Yeah. These superhero movies, a lot of movies sometimes, guys, they be trying to tell you little stuff in code, and some of our brains just aren't equipped to figure it out. You know, when the Wayans boys put out those movies and they show you something that they think you should know, and they say message, you know what I'm saying? Message. These movies need to start trying to tell these people this shit again. Giants, dinosaurs, all types of creatures, ain't it? You know, they said one time, when dinosaurs roamed the world, There was no people. You know what they found? Footprints of humans. Well, they probably weren't humans, Neanderthals or whatever they called them then, but they was people. They thought we didn't exist. People didn't exist when dinosaurs. That's what they thought. And how the hell did one asteroid strike the Earth and wipe out all said dinosaurs? They have a damn shark that goes in the dark like a jellyfish. I saw it on Discovery Channel. Girl, Discovery Channel is my favorite channel. I love Discovery Channel. You watch some stuff on Discovery Channel and you feel like you just so unsmart because you be like, how did I not know this? Every time I watch Discovery Channel, I feel like I ain't never went to school because I be like, how did I not know this? How? Only 3% of the ocean, and they want to tell us mermaids don't exist. Come on now. Come on now. Because dolphins know how to communicate with people, don't they? So what people had they started communicating with? Mermaids? Yeah, Discovery Channel mine too. Yes, I love it. I like the History Channel too, guys. I like history. Yeah, yeah. But see, you got people that don't believe, don't believe, don't believe. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're crazy. You know, it's people that. Hold on, let's see what this says. And that's why dolphins are saving people. Speaking of the dolphins, did y'all hear about the dolphins that supposed to took the man under the ocean? They have them build him a city. Killer whales scared of dolphins. Good. They need to be. They need to be. Okay, guys, listen. We will talk about this all night if y'all let me. Listen, we gotta wind down. We gotta take it out. Um, let's start. Let me start thanking you guys. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. You know, I got a whole group of people that got my back, and I really appreciate that because Joe is trying to take me out of social media, guys. He really is. He is trying to take me out of social media. That is his goal in life right now, is to wipe out I'm just here to troll, and we can't let that happen. Um, Thanks to everybody who sent me super chats. Thanks to everybody. Did somebody hit my cash app? I think somebody hit my cash app. Thank you guys for that. Um, Thank you guys for the likes. You wouldn't live under the sea with SpongeBob and them, girl. I love me some SpongeBob. Yes. Yes. You know, Juanita, me too. Me too. That's why I've only limited my stuff to just trolling him, not falling too deep into none of the mess, not falling too deep in none of the bullshit, just simple that. And I'm really, really, really trying to move away from that. I really am. I'm trying to get away from that. And you know what would hurt him the most is to see me succeed doing other things because he really thinks that all of these troll pages need him for content. You know, yeah, We are. We are. I always plan to do pillow talk at least every other night, but y'all know I get so wrapped up and then I get so tired and I got so many things going on. But yes, we have to do this because at this point right now, this is kind of what I'm liking to do with this page. I'm really liking to go on there and talk with the people other than just throwing some, you know, nonsense videos out there. I like to talk to the people about things that y'all want to talk about. I don't. I really don't. And that's my goal is to show him that, other things go on over here and once you lose your biggest op in his eyes, once you lose your biggest op, what do you really have? So yes, I want to tell you guys good night. I hope you have pleasant dreams. I hope you dream about whatever it is that you like to dream about. I like to dream that I won some money, I like to dream that I won some money and that, I only can work, I can go to work and work part time, didn't have to work a lot. Um, but yes, he has no talent. I'm making his recordings. That's what they are. I'm making his recordings watchable for people. So he should thank me. But anyways, good night to you guys. It is 12:36 where I am, and I'm gonna try really hard to get back on Pillow Talk tomorrow. And until then, I want you guys to have a good night. Sleep tight. Snuggle up under your covers and go to bed tonight. You just the ugly Milton. Yo, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. And like I said, I'm working on getting that iPhone. I just don't want to add another bill to my life. I just want to pay for it and get it over with. So I'm working on getting that iPhone. And once I get that iPhone and figure out how to get it onto Neo, it's only up from now because I'll be able to pull up videos and we can really talk about anything. So let's go. Y'all have a good night and thank you guys so, so, so much. And yes, sweet dreams to you guys too. Good night, guys.